Alright, 8th grade 5.7. This is on page 265 in your book. We were just adding and subtracting with decimals. Now we're going to multiply and divide. The leading digit of a number, okay, is the first non-zero digit. So they may have us do some rounding here. We'll see what happens as we talk about leading digits. Our key concept, multiplying decimals. You need to write this. Here we go. It is on page 265, right there on the top. Multiply decimals as you do whole numbers, then place the decimal point. Remember, you don't have to line them up. The number of decimal places in the product is the total number of decimal places in the factors. So let me do one and show you. 2.25 times 8.9. So you take 2.25 times 8.9 and you multiply as you do whole numbers. So you just multiply these. So that's going to be 5, carry the 4, 18, 22, carry the 2, 20. Oops, don't know how that got over there. 20. I don't know where my thing's going. Add a placeholder. 8 times 5 is 40. Carry the 4, 16, that'd be 20. Carry the 2, 16, 18. What is that, a 5? Well, my thing is jumping around here. 5, 7, 0, 0, carry the 1. So I'm getting 20.0. What is that number? That's a 0. So that's supposed to be a 2. Okay. Then it says place the decimal point. The number of decimal places, that's supposed to be an S, in the product is the total number of decimal places in the factors. So there's 1, 2, 3 places in the factors. So you put 1, 2, 3 places in the product. 20.025. And I know we've done this before. Just multiply. Don't line up the decimals. You have to fill those empty places with zeros, and then it just makes it longer. Okay, so to find how far you travel in a rafting problem above, substitute the given variables into the distance formula. Remember, the distance formula is a nice one to remember. Distance equals rate times time. And there's a picture of some people rafting at the top of the page. If you've never done that, I suggest you do it. It's really fun, especially when the water gets crazy. It says you will travel downstream on a raft at a rate of 4.3 miles per hour. How far will you travel in 2.5 hours? So we're going a rate of 4.3, so that's R, so 4.3 for 2.5 hours. How far will you go? So it's just 4.3 times 2.5. So 15, carry the 1, that'd be 21. Placeholder 6, 8. And 2 places. You'll go 10.75 miles. That's it. Let's see what we get. 10.75, 2 decimal places. There's our answer. Alright, so this one we're multiplying, and negative and a positive makes a negative. We just multiply like we 7.39 times 2.1. I don't know what's happening here. Sorry. 7. Let me get rid of all that. It's acting up on me for some reason. Okay. 7.39 times 2.1. So 9, 3, 7, 0, 18, carry the 1, 7, 14, 9, 11, 15, carry the 1, and then there's 3 decimal places, 1, 2, 3, and a negative and a positive make a negative. Negative 15.519. There it is, and show your work. I don't want to just see answers. 19.62 times 5.07. 14, carry the 1, 3, carry the 4, 67, 13, placeholder, well those are all zeros so I don't have to do it, so another placeholder for the 5, 0, carry the 1, 31, what's a 1, carry the 3, 45, 48, carry the 4, and then a 9. 99.499. 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. 99.4734. 1.13 times 0.04 is just times 4. 12, carry the 1, 5, 4, put in 4 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boy, my pen is just messing up. There we go. 2 negatives make a positive. We'll just do 85 times. Stop it! We'll just do 85 times 8. And we'll put in 2 decimal places. 6.8. And it's positive, so. Alright, now dividing decimals. When you divide decimals, the key concept box has all these words. I'm just going to substitute it with 3 words. It's just all you have to remember is over, over, and up. And let me show you with a problem. 2.75 into 15.125. Here's the deal. You can never divide with the divisor being a decimal. So you need to move the decimal over to make this a whole number. So we're going to move it over 2 places all the way to the bar to make it 275. That's the first over. The second over is to move the decimal inside the same amount you moved it on the outside. So we moved it over 2 there, so we move it over 2 here. And then up means you bring the decimal straight up. Then you just pretend like it's not there and you take 275 into that number. And then you're done. That's it. So here we go. To find the quotient, 60.01 or 102 divided by 6.3, multiply the divisor and the dividend by 10. Move the decimal points 1 place to the right. Now this is the way they do it, but here's how we're going to do it. 6.3 into 60.102. And it's the same thing. I'm going to move it 1 place because it goes to make it a whole number, and this one's going to move it 1 and straight up. And then you just divide it. Moving the decimal points, and then you just divide it out. To find some quotients, you may need to use zeros as placeholders. So check out this one. 6 divided by 1.2. Well, I can't have a decimal here, so I got to move it over to the bar, so I move it over 1. This one I need to move over 1, but it's right here, so I have to move it over 1. I add the 0 and bring it straight up, so it would be just 5. This one is, find my pen, I can find it, there it is, 0.0126 divided by 1.8. We're going to go over 1, and straight up, and then it's just 18 into those. And I'm not going to divide that out. Okay, so find the quotient, check that the answer is reasonable. So 1.6 divided by 0.04. 2 places over, 2 places over, bring the decimal up. 4 goes into 16 4 times, which is 16, and I have this other 0, so the answer is 40. Okay, so 0.632 divided by 0.79 over 2, and straight up. 79 won't go into 63, but it'll go into 639. Let's try 5. That'd be 39. Ooh, way more. 79 times 8. 56. 632. Look at that. Perfect. 0.8. Excuse me. So negative 13 divided by negative 0.65. 2 negatives make a positive, over 2, and straight up. Put my zeros in. 65 goes into 130 twice, which is 130, and then you have that extra 0. So that answer would be 20. turning out kind of nice. There they are doing exactly what I'm doing. The over, over, and up is just, they just don't call it that. Two negatives make a positive, so I'm not going to write the negatives. So I would expect to see your work here, over, over, and up. 45 won't go into 43. It'll go 436. Oh, that's pretty big. Let's try that. 5, carry the 4, 6, 405. That's it. 405. 1, 315. Let's try 7. 31. 315. Look at that. Perfect. 0.97. So again, probably the worst part about this is the work. I mean, it does take a little bit to write these out. I don't want to just see answers. You'll get them back if it's just answers. Over 2, and straight up. 156, let's try 3 times 18, carry the 1, 16, carry the 1 forward. That's too many, so it's twice. 312. That's going to be, bring down the 4, so 156 times 5, 0, carry the 3, 2, that's too many. 2, carry the 2, there it is, 624, so 0.24. Alright, this one's going to be negative because I might have missed a negative one there. Oh, I didn't. Okay, 0.0108 divided by 2.7. The answer is negative because a negative and a positive make a negative. Over 1, straight up. 27 won't go into there. It won't go into 1. It won't go into 10. So 27 into 108. Let's try 4 times. 8, carry the 2. 108. 4,000. Negative 4 thousandths. There it is. Okay, so you're dividing. You just keep dividing. Show your work. Make sure that you are doing it the right way, and we'll see you next time.